Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, SFuels, and their all-new Zone Fuels. You can get a sample below. Our Challenged Athletes Foundation, we just sent out over $7 million in grants to over 4,000 grant recipients. Our next guest, coming off of winning 70.3 Oregon last year, Danielle Lewis joins us. How you doing?
Hey, Bob. I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. Now, you were sixth here at Oceanside last year.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
I was fifth or sixth, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah.
They all blend together
That
when you do
does.
so
It
many of
does.
them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also Ironman Texas last year.
Yes.
And will you go back there again? Because you got fifth there.
Yes, I will go back to Ironman Texas. Yeah, this year's a big year, with the
Yes.
Ironman Pro Series.
Ironman Pro Series.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do three?
You don't have to do anything.
Right.
But if you want to do well,
if you want to do well,
it's ideal to have at least, they score 3 fulls.
Okay.
So if you think the World Championships for max points,
Yes.
and then 2 other full distance Ironmans. So this being the Ironman Texas is the first big one for North America.
Right.
Early in the year, it's probably going to be pretty big.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, you got 100 pros here.
Right.
Right?
I know.
So imagine what that's going to be like. At Texas is going to be crazy. Everybody, Fenella is going right from here there, and Patrick Lange is going right from here there. So it's going to be a big race.
It will be.
What did you gain from racing here and from Texas last year that you bring into this year?
Sure. Well, last year I had a similar schedule that I'll have this year.
Mm-hmm.
So racing Oceanside and then Texas and then St. George, which is a North American Pro Championship.
Right.
And then Chattanooga. The dates are a little bit different this year than they were last year, but similar schedule.
Right.
And, for myself, I race well with fatigue in my body. I tend to almost get better. At least last year, I seemed to get better as the races went on.
Yeah.
So I think this first one with Oceanside, it's always kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off. It's the first race for most of us.
Exactly.
For this year. So it always has a special sort of pain, a different sort of pain.
Yeah, it's not the pain of, I did this last week. It's like, I haven't done this for 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to hurt. So you just kind of rip the Band-Aid off as fast as possible and accept that and roll with it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they've made that decision yet on the ocean, if they're going to start in the surf or is everything's going to be in a bay. Does it matter to you?
No, it doesn't matter to me. If I had to choose, I like the ocean start just because it's a bit more athletic. And for somebody like myself, I'm taller than a lot of my competition.
Yes.
And so for myself, I can still be in there wading through, dolphin diving through, standing around. Well, people are already swimming.
Right. And you're running, going by.
Yeah,
them.
and I'm running. Yeah,
That's
exactly. So it works well for myself. I like it. I think it's fun. So
last year, 70.3 Oregon. That was that's a big win.
It's the second time that I've won there. Yeah, that was kind of cool repeating.
Yes, being defending champion. Now, with the schedule this year, will we be able to go back?
I don't know if it's a pro race or not. I don't think that it's been announced yet.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, that has not been announced. But this year, you are adding Challenge Roth.
We are.
First time.
Yes. My husband, Andrew, has been really keen on going to Challenge Roth for quite some time. And so, of course, he put the bug in my ear, and we're going to go and do it together. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it's the racing has nothing to do with the beer or any of that type of stuff that Andrew is excited about.
Oh, I would be excited about that. I like beer more than he does. Yeah. At least I say good beer.
Good beer, real beer.
To him, good beer is gross.
Really?
Good beer, I like a strong IPA, or
right.
like a Belgian or good beer.
Yes.
But yeah, he's in the room, so he's probably shaking his head like you guys are idiots.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
That race is so unique.
Mm-hmm.
You've obviously watched it online and seen that you swim in the river with the hot air balloons and symphony music and ride up Silver Hill twice with 50,000 of your closest friends cheering for you.
It reminds me, I used to do bike racing.
Yes.
A long time ago, a previous life, and I used to do Tulsa Tough. Are you familiar with that race?
I'm not familiar with Tulsa Tough.
So
now, was that road race?
It was a series of races.
Okay.
And one of the stages, it was a crit, is Crybaby Hill.
PPO. Yeah. I would have been on that, yeah.
And so you do multiple laps of this, up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's a party, Crybaby Hill. It's just a full-on party. It'd be fun, really fun to be a spectator. But yeah, I mean, there's like hardly any room for the cyclists going through, right?
Right.
And so when I watch the footage of Challenge Roth, it reminds me of that.
Exactly. It is exactly that. And then you also have a beer mile on the run where you've got basically picnic tables lined up with people, drunk Germans on both sides of the picnic table, and you run through that.
Yeah, don't tempt me.
Yeah, there you go. And then you finish in a stadium that first time we went there, there's an empty lot, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, where's the finished stadium? And they go, we'll start building that on Tuesday.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
And they build a stadium for 10,000 people that basically comes from the ground up that week. And you run into that stadium.
So if I keep running through the finish line, it's because I'm going to go turn around and go back to the beer mile.
Go back there and do that again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So what got you into this?
Into what?
Into triathlon. What got you into the sport?
Oh, Bob, we don't have time for all of this.
And then getting into the whole pro side of this.
Yeah. So let's see here. My mom was always into like running and triathlon when I was younger. She used to go out for her team in training.
Yes.
Long runs.
Yeah. And
I would rollerblade with her. And so that was my exposure to it. And then also when she would go do a marathon, for childcare, she would have me volunteer at the finish line.
Childcare.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I
Free
would
childcare.
Exactly.
And a t-shirt. You got a t-shirt.
Yep. And so I would basically be at the finish line there, helping the athletes as they came through, giving them their medals or their cold towels or water and all of that, and then just wait for her to finish. And I remember some of the professional runners finishing and being inspired by them and just thinking it's crazy what they put their bodies through.
Right.
But I was always into sports. I played volleyball, basketball, ran cross country and track in high school. And then I went to college to run. I went to Baylor University.
Yes.
Ran in college, and then
what were you 1,500? 5K.
So I started as an 800 runner.
Okay.
Then to the mile, and then eventually the steeplechase.
So you're a steeplechaser.
Yes.
That's like the best sport there is.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's like I always look at that and water polo, and like there's certain sports that just make you tough. And there's certain events that make you tough. And I remember one guy named Tom Hunt was a national record holder at 10,000 meters, and he did the steeple. And I said, what separates steeple? He says, in most races, you fade. In steeple, 1 second you're feeling great, next second there's a piano on your back. There's no fading. You go from on to off. There's like a switch that turns off.
Yeah.
True?
It's true. And every race on the track has a different sort of pain. I think it's associated with the distance, the effort, but they all have their own specific feel to them. And the steeplechase is certainly one where you have to be gritty, you've got to be tough. And I think a lot of it, you can translate that into triathlon.
No question.
The back half of your 70.3 run, or even a full, you have to go, you got to dig deep, you got to suffer.
Yeah. No question about it. Weirdest thing or worst thing you've seen in the pit? In the steeple?
Besides me face planting the water?
That's a good one.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. So this was, let's see here. It was 3 by 1K efforts on the track and training.
Oh, this is a training. Okay.
So I had a training run, and I came over, and we usually never did actual barrier steeple jumps in training just because of the risk of injury.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I came off of the barrier really hard. I landed on my heel, and I bruised it really badly. It turned out later to be like a stress fracture. But I still kind of ran at it a bit, and then this was right before the regional championships. I was on like the Alter G, and then doing aqua jogging and stuff.
So keep your fitness up, but no weight bearing.
Right. So I didn't actually run on earth until like just a few days before the race.
Yeah.
And then, so I did the race, and I was towards the front, and then all I remember was going over a barrier, and the next thing I was just face down. I don't remember what happened. I was up, and then I was down. And in my mind, all I could envision was these like spikes going into my back. Oh.
Did they all jumped around you?
Thankfully, they did go around me.
Wow.
But I got up and I did finish that race, and I already had a fast time. So all I really needed to do was to place in the top 12 to qualify for nationals.
Yes.
Based on how the rules were back then.
Yeah.
Back then, I feel old. So I needed to place in the top 12, and I did. It was like by 0.02 of a second.
Oh my God.
I know.
Even though you went face down in the pit.
Yes.
Wow. And nobody jumped on you.
No, thankfully.
I've seen people with spike marks, you know.
It happens.
Going, oh yeah, people go down and yeah.
It can get bloody out there.
Oh God. I always felt like steeple was that sport where every coach had that runner that was like really worked hard. This is you're going to be doing the steeple. Always looking for someone who's going to do the toughest event we got.
Well, both my parents were in the Marine Corps.
Okay, that sort of says it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I draw a lot of strength from them,
yes.
And I think they have always taught me a lot about being resilient and strong, and, there's nothing to it but to do it, just set your mind to do something and just get it done.
What do you look at? Obviously, you've won Oregon a couple of times. Is that do you look at those wins as the biggest wins you've ever had? Or are there other races you look at as being more important?
I think every performance has a different value to an athlete. And I think it's easy to say because I placed first here, that's the most meaningful. And certainly being a defending champion coming back and winning again. Yeah. Is huge, right? To be able to do that shows me, okay, I can do this. But I think for myself, the one that I find very meaningful was Ironman Arizona in 2022. So that was my second full. The first one was Ironman Texas, also that I completely...
Oh, you got third at Arizona. Yeah, 2:52 marathon.
Well, exactly. And that... I broke Chrissy Wellington's run course record on that course. But what happened in the race is that about 2 hours or so into the bike, I ended up getting a flat tire, and I didn't plan properly, take ownership for this. I didn't have what I needed to change it out.
Okay.
And the mechanics weren't available. So I pulled over into the side of the road. I saw a moto up there, so I pulled over next to him, and I asked, he's not a mechanic. He was a cameraman, and I'm like, no, stop filming, stop this. I don't want this. We don't need to like put this on record. But yeah, so they got in touch with the mechanic, and it was going to be like, he had like 10 people in front of him, so he wasn't able to come help. And so I'm basically on the side of the road asking anybody, hey, do you have a spare tube? I just needed a spare tube and CO2, and I could get it changed quickly. Right. So I was on the side of the road for 20 minutes when somebody stopped, very kind fellow. I actually ended up sending him a gift card as like a thank you for this. But he stopped and gave me what I needed. I got it changed, got back on the bike. I just went to work. I was like at 70.3 effort on the bike, but then ended up running that 2:52 and placed third in that race.
Now, do you think you were like running pissed? Or you just felt like, okay, I'm out here, might as well, because you could have pulled the plug and just said, not my day, and save it for another race.
Yeah, that's true. That didn't cross my mind. A marathon is a long time.
Stuff can happen.
And I knew that I could run a good marathon. Yeah. And when I started running, I felt really good. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I know what pace I'm at. And I'm like, okay, if I do this, then, I will move up. I didn't know how far I would move up. Yes. But I knew I would move up. So
third place.
Yeah.
End up on the podium.
Correct.
And those mean more, right? When you go through hardship during the race and you channel your inner steepler.
Exactly.
Right? You've been face down in a pit before. So you can go off and run a fast marathon.
Yes.
That's very cool. 2:52 off of that. That's very special. I like that.
Yeah.
So the rest of the season is which fulls you can do again?
So as of now, we have Texas planned.
Yes.
And then Challenge Roth, which that one's more of like our bucket list kind of race, but obviously want to go and have a good performance there.
Right.
Ideally, I qualify for Nice and Texas.
Right.
Because if I don't, then I'll have to add one on.
Somebody else, yeah.
I do have an idea of another full that I kind of want to do. I'm not. Yeah. I want to say anything yet.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know. We're not here. I don't know yet because I think it would be a lot to ask of myself and my body. But I'm going to have to just play out the first half of this year,
yes.
see how it goes. And then if I have the opportunity to add something between like Roth and Worlds, then I can do that. Right. So we're just going to have to see how the body handles the first few months.
Do you feel that Nice course suits you?
I do. I think it's a tough, really fun course.
8,000 feet of climbing with great descents.
So having the cycling background, I really like a technical
I bet
course.
You do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did Nice, the 70.3 World Championships.
In 2019.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so my mom was there with me, and so before the race, we practiced the descent. She would drive me up, I'd descend down. Yes. She'd drive me up, descend down, drive up, descend down, just to get a really good feel for the roads and everything. And so I imagine I'll probably do a little bit of that in preparation.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm excited for it.
You're all in. That would be perfect for someone who's a former cyclist. That's a great course for you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Always a pleasure to chat with you. I'm glad things are going well. How many times have you done this race now?
I think this is my third.
Yeah. I saw 2 on there before.
I think it's my third.
Cool. Well, good luck on Saturday. Have fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. And thank you again for coming up and checking out our CAF building.
My goodness. I know. So have you told people about it, obviously?
This is our new facility, the outdoor field house that Albertson Foundation built for CAF. It's 55,000 square feet in Boise, and it's full-on pool with a ninja course and rock climbing wall, and it's dormitories, hyperbaric building. It's pretty special.
It's amazing. I'm kind of jealous of the athletes. Oh my gosh, it's very beautiful. You've done a great job there.
Our team is amazing. Very cool. Well, hopefully we'll see you up in Boise again.
Absolutely.
We'll be back.
All right.
Danielle Lewis has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. Hold on. We will be right back.